Hi everybody, Elin here. So today I come to you guys with my March book haul, so let's just get to it. So the first book being Mistborn Secret History by Brandon Sanderson. This is a novella that is supposed to take place after the original Mistborn trilogy, but also you're not supposed to read this one if you haven't finished Bands of Mourning, which is the currently last book out in the second era. So I'm not gonna say what this is about because spoilers. And then we have Nine from the Nine Worlds by Rick Riordan. This is sort of a novella with 9 different short stories that are supposed to take place in the 9 different worlds. This is supposed to be a novella to the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series. It's really short, but hopefully I will enjoy it. I actually have 3 books from the same series. So we have The Outcast, The Inquisition and The Battle Mage. So originally when I placed this order, I actually thought that The Outcast was supposed to be book 4 because on Goodreads it is listed as book 4, but in reality this is a prequel, meaning it is supposed to take place before book 1. So, you know, don't trust you on Goodreads for everything. But yeah, I read the first book in January, really enjoyed it, and I just really sucker for these covers too because they look kind of kick-ass. Okay, so my camera died. Follow this guy named Fletcher, and he actually learns how to bring out a demon from a different realm, and he is admitted to this sort of magic school, and it's all really cool, and I really enjoyed the first book, and I really did wish at that point that I had the second book, so I kind of ended up buying all of the ones that were out just because, you know, I'm prepared now. And of course I couldn't stop myself, so I did the same thing with a different series as well, and that is The Land of Stories. So here we have Beyond the Kingdoms, An Author's Odyssey and Worlds Collide. This is book 4, 5 and 6 in the Land of Stories series. I have read the first 2 books and I own the third but haven't read it yet. And this series is just so freaking good. This is a middle grade series. It's about Alex and Connor, and they're twins, and they sort of get to learn that the fairy tale land is not, you know, fiction. It is very much real. They get sucked into this storytelling book that they got from the grandmother. They get sucked down into the Land of Stories, and there they meet all different kinds of princesses and different stories. So they meet like Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood and everything like that, and it's just so good. And I need to start reading book 3 so I can move on to these 3. And now we have The Empress Blades by Brian Staveley, and I don't remember what this is about. So the emperor has been murdered, leaving the Norian Empire in turmoil. Now his progeny must prepare to unmask a conspiracy. His son Valen, training for the empire's deadliest fighting force, hears the news an ocean away, and after several accidents and a dying soldier's warning, he realizes his life is also in danger. Yet before Valen can act, he must survive the mercenaries' brutal final initiation. The Emperor's daughter, Minister Adair, I don't know how to pronounce that, hunts her father's murder in the capital. Court politics can be fatal, but she needs justice. Lastly, Caden, heir to the Empire, studies in a remote monastery. Here, the Blank God's disciples teach their harsh ways, which Caden must master to unlock ancient powers. But when an imperial delegation arrives, has he learned enough to keep him alive as long hidden powers make their move? So I feel like it's kind of vague, but I mean, the emperor is murdered, his kids have to try to get back to the place where everything goes down, because apparently they're spread all over the place, and, you know, fight evil. And then we have A Map of Days by Ransom Riggs. This is the 4th book in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, or Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children, maybe the series is just called. I don't know. This is definitely a lot chunkier than the previous books, and as always he has these really weird and sometimes like scary photos. And I mean, I really did enjoy the original trilogy. It's actually one of the few series that is right here that's actually sort of survived my big cleanse before the move, so I really did enjoy that trilogy, and I want to continue on with this series. So as far as I understand, this is supposed to be evolving around the same characters. So we do meet Jacob in this one as well. But in the first book we meet Jacob and his grandpa actually passes away. And it's all very mysterious and he thinks he saw some kind of monster or something like that. And he and his father ends up actually going to this island that his grandpa was at when he was a little boy, and he gets to know these very peculiar children, and they all have sort of gifts, if you will. So I really enjoyed the original trilogy and I want to continue on with this one. And now we come to a repurchase, and this is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Before the big cleanse, I actually owned this book and the second book in Swedish. But I don't really read a lot of Swedish books anymore, and I definitely don't read a lot of translations. So I wanted it in English because I really do think I would like this. But so in this one we meet Darrow, and the civilization is sort of split into two. So we have reds and golds, I think. The golds are the ones that are really rich and they're like above everybody else, and they look down on the class working people, sort of, which is the reds, and Darrow is one of them, and they actually do sort of slave labor, working in different kinds of mines, I believe it is. And one day Darrow, with the help of a mysterious group, rebels and shit goes down from there. So I've heard great things about this series. I think there's an original trilogy and then there's a fourth book that is supposed to take place a bit later. I don't know, but I know there's 4 books in the series at least. But yeah, I hopefully will like this, and hopefully I will get to it, because it's not that big. It's about 400 pages, so it's fine. We come to a book like I feel I would mention a lot on my blog at least, and that is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This is from the author that wrote The Hate You Give, which is a book I really loved. But in this one we meet Bree. She's 16 years old and she just wants to become this rapper. As far as I no, I think this book is supposed to take place in the same kind of neighborhood that Star from The Hate You Give lives in, but they do go to different schools and they don't really know each other. It's just that Bree is very well aware of what happened in the sort of first book about the neighborhood, so to speak, about the police shooting and everything like that. But yeah, shit goes down, obviously, but I've heard some mixed things about it. I know people saying that they don't really like it as much as the first book, but I mean, how many times has that happened? But I've heard great things as well, so I hopefully will like it, because I really do want to read it. So now we come to the by far most gorgeous book in this entire haul, and that is this book. It's really chunky, but this is Harry Potter und der Feuerkelch. This is the, you know, Harry Potter and Goblet of Fire, but in German. This is the 20-year edition, and it's so beautiful. Like up top you have them for the, you know, Quidditch World Cup, and down here we have Moody, and I think this is supposed to be Peter Pettigrew, and then in the back of course we had Cedric Diggory, and we have the golden egg and everything like that. And I just love these editions so much. I honestly think that these are the most gorgeous Harry Potter editions I have ever seen. And for you guys who wonder, yes, I did read a lot of German for several years. I used to be, well, if I say myself I mean, but I used to be quite good. But then after high school I kind of haven't used it all, so I've lost so much. So honestly I feel like if I read this in high school, probably would have been able to read it with like not that much issue, but at this point I probably won't understand a lot. But I'm definitely going to make the effort to try to get through the entire Harry Potter series, just because it's just something I've always wanted to do, to read them all in German. And I mean, these are the most gorgeous editions ever, so it's so gorgeous. I love it. Now look at the spine. It's just perfection. And then the next book is Slayer by Kirsten White. This is supposed to be sort of inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is supposed to be about Nina and her twin sister. They actually go to this Watchers Academy, Now they actually grow up on this Watcher Academy because apparently their dad was the Watcher who died trying to protect Buffy. This boarding school is where teens are trained as guides for slayers, girls gifted with supernatural strength to fight evil forces, and Nina has never really embraced this violent Watcher style because her instincts are to save lives, not take them, and one day Nina's life just changed forever, and well, it turns out that Nina is not only the newest chosen one, she's also the last slayer ever. Dun dun dun. So if you guys don't know, I absolutely love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's such a good series, and I mean, I've never actually read like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer sort of retelling, if you will, so I'm really interested in seeing where this is going to lead. And then we also have 3 books that I've actually ordered, but since I am pre-filming this a little bit, they haven't actually arrived yet, so I will just insert pictures of them. So first of all, we have 2 books from the same author. So this is Matilda from Roald Dahl, and also Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by the same author. And I think that you all know what Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is all about, and you know, it's sort of a classic at this point, and there's so many film remakes of it and everything like that, and I want to read it. And also we have Matilda, which you don't really know that much about. It's about a girl, and her parents doesn't really, like, you know, think she's normal because she loves to read so much, and she learns to read and walk and everything like that really early, and you know, it's about her life, and it just sounds really interesting, and I just need to read some Roald Dahl because I've never done that ever before. I don't know why we haven't done this, because I feel we should have read it like in school or something, but I'm going to remedy that right now. And I really do like these weird sort of covers, and there's supposed to be illustrations in them as well, so that would be really great. And then the last one, which is actually the thickest one, is, and that book is The Priory of the Orange Tree, I think. It's like the longest title ever, and this is written by Samantha Shannon. I know that this is a book she's been working on for like 3 years, so it's really thick. I think it's over 800 pages, and I think it's supposed to be a standalone as well. And I don't really know like anything about this book. I don't really know anything about this book. The only thing I do know is that it's supposed to be dragons in it, and the cover just looks really awesome. But I feel like there's way too few books where there's dragons in them. I mean, books that are, you know, well written and everything like that, that I would actually enjoy. So I really want to get my hands on this book, and hopefully I will have it in my hands very soon. So if we count the 3 books that have not arrived yet, I have just hauled 17 books. So, I mean, it could be worse, but it's definitely getting out of hand. So I'm going to really try to not make my April book haul as big as this one, because this is getting ridiculous. I mean, my TBR shelf will be full soon. But anyways, if you have read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought about them, without spoiling of course. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me some thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the little button down below. And yeah, I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye!